Hey, First Baptist kids, it's Jessica here with your next big idea lesson for this week. We're still traveling through the book of Mark and following Jesus as he heals and does some pretty cool things. This week's scripture was kind of difficult because it's about following the rules and whether that is always a good thing or not. Let's talk about some rules. What are some rules that are really good to follow? If you're a parent or a driver, you might really want to obey the speed limit or stop at stop signs or follow traffic light signals. Those are really good. They help prevent accidents, and there are things we need to follow. If you're a student at school, it might be good to not talk while the teacher's talking. That's probably a rule. Not run in the hallway. Those are things that are there to keep you safe and to help you listen and know what's going on in your classroom. But sometimes rules can maybe prevent us from helping people or doing something that's better. So our lesson today comes from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 3, 1 through 6. Then he went back in the meeting place, where he found a man with a crippled hand. The Pharisees had their eyes on Jesus to see if he would heal him, hoping to catch him in a Sabbath infraction. He said to the man with the crippled hand, "Stand here where we can see you." Then he spoke to the people. "What kind of action suits the Sabbath best? Doing good or doing evil? Helping people or leaving them helpless?" No one said a word. He looked them in the eye one after another. Angry now, furious at their hard-nosed religion, he said to the man, "Hold out your hand." He held it out. It was as good as new. The Pharisees got out as fast as they could, sputtering about how they would join forces with Herod's followers and ruin him. So back in Jesus's time, there were rules that people followed on the Sabbath. That was the day the Jewish people went to synagogue and the day they rested, kind of like our Sunday when we go to church or we rest from our work that day. And back then there were lots of different rules that they kept about the Sabbath. They couldn't cook or travel or do anything that would be considered work. And so Jesus healing this man on the Sabbath technically breaks the rules. But later on in the Gospel of Mark, in chapter 12, Jesus is asked about the greatest commandments, or you could say the greatest rules. And what he answers is that the first is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so when Jesus was thinking about how he should help people or when he should heal people, he used these two rules to help him decide what to do. And so even though healing this man on the Sabbath technically broke the rules, it was definitely a way to show love to God and to love his neighbor as himself. So the next time you have a tough decision or you're trying to decide whether you should help someone or something that you need to do, think, one, does it show love for God with everything I have? And two, does it help me love my neighbor as myself? And if you answer yes to both of those questions, it's probably the right thing to do. I hope y'all have a good week. That's our big idea lesson for today. Take care.